What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another episode of Here We Go Again. But before we get into this, hopefully it's still good on YouTube, and if not, good on Rumble. Link in the description down below. Go check out my Royal Rumble reactions. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about, obviously, the Royal Rumble, a couple AEW botches, and what I should have talked about last episode and forgot at the last minute. Monday Night Raw is going to Netflix? All this and more in this episode of Here We Go Again. But before you get into this, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get it.
If you in there, nigga, I'm ghost.
So, this one's going to cover NXT, Dynamite, Rampage, SmackDown, and the Royal Rumble. I haven't seen Collision yet, so we're gonna start next episode with Collision. Like, basically when I end this stream, okay, that's a lie, because I'm gonna try to go straight to sleep, bro. In this stream, the next first show I'll see is, we'll start with Collision, and then Monday Night Raw, NXT, and we'll go through all the shows. So we'll start with Collision next time and end with Collision. We start with Braun Breaker, Baron Corbin versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Now, like I said, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, you know, they surprised me 2 weeks ago, last week, don't remember. But I knew they weren't winning this. Like, Braun Breaker is a bigger star than both of them, and Baron Corbin was already established before any of this. Ironically, in some of my songs, it was Dolph Ziggler doing like promos and he was talking about Baron Corbin. But like I said here, I like Nathan and Axiom, but they're not winning. Great match.
Axiom coming in, got caught, and it is to Axiom.
Epic ending.
Frazier up and over, super kick, rocks Corbin, spear. God.
We get Ren Sinclair versus Lash Legend. Now, she was having her little back. I think she was with, Fallon Henley, because I think Fallon Henley ended up coming through with the clutch. But basically, she was like, oh, it's my first match, and I'm guessing that she eliminated Lash Legend during the Battle Royal, and that's what's setting this up. But she was doing little backstage segments like, oh yeah, I'm going to it's my first singles match. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. And then Fallon Henley's like, yeah, you're good. You got it. You don't have it. You held that L. As I said, first singles match and first loss. Metaphor, they tried to jump. They tried to throw the hands. Now, I don't know why two women and two men were about to, why they were pushing up on this woman who just lost, but Fallon Henley pulled up with a save. We had a backstage segment. Electric Lopez pulling up, looking for Lola Vice, because, you know, they had the little altercation during the Battle Royale. So she was looking for Lola Vice, but, hey, how she came through.
Hey, you, where's she at? That pendeja Lola Vice. I don't know. If you see her, tell her I'm looking for her.
Hey, I'm looking for Electra Lopez. She was looking good, man. We got Lexis King versus Trey Bearhill. Lexis King wins with a pinfall. We get Supernova Sessions with Lola Vice. So, I believe it's Noam Dar. It's one of them for Metaphor. So we still the names. I got my chilling sessions. I mean, I guess I don't have a patent on the word session, but and you have your supernova session. But during the segment, Lola Vice pulled up. I guess I'm looking for Lola Vice too, man. And then when she pulled up, all you just hear is,
Booker, why are you sweating?
he's like,
Cause it's hot. That's why.
hey, I understand, man. I understand. Granted, it's kind of ironic that today I'm saying the same thing that I'm saying in a defense of Booker T, but mans, bro, why you snitching on me? Now, in my case, it wasn't snitching. It was a different situation, but mans, dude. But there's a moment where she's like, you think that da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, bitch? And then I think they fixed it in the YouTube version. I haven't checked out the Hulu version yet. And if not, when I put this clip in the video, I'm going to the USA Network. I don't even know if they fixed it later on, but they censored the bitch late. So it went like,
anyone else to be here. Bitch, I've sacrificed my hard work.
you had one job. I feel like Loki and Ragnarok. You had one job. Just the one. I need to save that as a clip. And then she really disrespected you, talking about some, you got famous shaking your ass on Instagram. Hey. Everyone was, ooh. You would have thought more people was in the building. We get Dragon Lee versus Scripps. OTM ringside. And Obafemi's up top camping watching. The family calls it a distraction. Dragon Lee wins. And Oba's like, hey, yeah, you'll get your match at Vengeance Day. He said it like that. Vengeance Day. Actually, he didn't say it. Dude, shut up, bro. We get Blair Davenport versus Carmen Petrovich. Good while it lasted, I guess. Because the match, Blair Davenport won that, but the match, I don't know how long. I was doing something. I was like, okay. Ooh, okay. Cool. You know, I don't know how people think, but, you know, I like Blair. I mean, I'm not, yeah, Blair, but, you know, she's in the match, you know, it should be cool. So I'm like, all right, let's really enjoy this match. Ding, ding, ding. Bro, what? We get Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs. So, Briggs accidentally... Trick Williams is by the announcer table. We had Dragunov on commentary. And so, he goes for a boot. And Trick moves out of the way, and Dragunov catches a stray. Bars. So, after that happened, Dragunov tried rushing into the ring. Carmelo Hayes pulls up and stops him. Trick gets the pinfall. Then Briggs, it's literally like pinfall, ding ding ding, dun dun dun, boom, whoop that Trick, and then instantly Josh Briggs is up to throw the hands. And you know they have their little, why did you do that to Dragunov? And he's like, man, he tried to attack him. Man, no, he didn't. I mean, listen, Carmelo Hayes been taking a lot of L's recently, but he was actually legitimate right there. Then we get our NXT Women's contract signing. Tatum Paxley slams Roxanne through the table. But speaking of Roxanne, She was looking good, man. She was looking good, especially had that little jacket, little leather jacket that she had on.
Sam feels like she still has that unbreakable cloak of invincibility. Oh, yes, man.
And I tell you what. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. Now we got AEW Dynamite. This one was, well, it's kind of good. It's kind of good thing that this happened, because I would have been pissed. This was in Savannah, but this is too far for me to drive. I can make the decent trip. It's like you're either close to Atlanta or you're close to Savannah. I mean, there's other places like you can throw like a Macon in there, or like that's the only three. That's the only three I could think of: Atlanta, Savannah, and Macon. Anyways, Macon's pretty decent drive. Savannah, absolutely not. Atlanta, we can make it there. We good. We don't gotta worry about that. It's a longer drive than I'd appreciate, but it's still, I'm right there. I'm there within an hour, unless traffic is on BS. Couldn't pull up to this, and it's a good thing I didn't, because the crowd was dead as hell, boy. Man, that crowd, they had like 2 pops, maybe 3 max. Samoa Joe opens the show, bars. Hook gets his 2 lines. I'm gonna be back. We'll fight again. Yeah, yada yada yada. You had 2 lines and I don't even remember them. No disrespect to you. But then we get Hangman Adam Page versus Penta. Pinfall win. Obvious win. You have someone coming after the championship, and they just announced that the rankings are coming back. You're not gonna have Hangman Adam Page, one of your top people in the company, who's positioned to be going after Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. You got this whole thing going on, and then Hook had this little moment. You're not going to have him lose before even getting to Samoa Joe. It's like the same thing I say with anyone from Undisputed Kingdom. You cannot lose before getting every single one of your championships, unless it's obvious, we're sick of your antics. This one person in a handicap match, and the rest of the Undisputed Kingdom is banned from the stadium. Unless it's something like that, they can't lose just yet. Well, speaking of, we get Wardlow versus Trent Beretta. Nobody in Undisputed Kingdom can lose, so hold this L, Trent. Which you did. We get Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm. They had their little face-off. They actually, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why there's a couple people who was posting being like, wow, they really did the effects with half. Now, doing it live is a different story. This ain't Rampage. But that's a pretty simple thing to do. Like, you can legitimately, well, I mean, obviously, you'd have to see it. But you literally just, it's a very simple thing to do. I don't know how to do it live. I know how to record this and then bring it into an editor and then do it like this. But doing it live, you know, if you can do auto-tune live, so music and auto-tune live, I'm pretty sure it's kind of the to the same difficulty. But speaking of difficulty, man, it was difficult containing myself because Deonna pulled up and she was looking good, man.
Was the plan? She wanted to come in here to AEW, not just to come in here to be a part of the women's division, but to come in here and get a title shot.
Golly, man, I tell you what. Like, when she first had her little, I think she had like 2 matches so far. And I don't know if she had a match on Collision that I missed. But, and then when she pulled up at first, I'll be honest, she was respectfully a mid to decent, you know. When she came out that night, I was like, hold on. At first I had to do a double scan. I'm like, who is this? Golly. And then apparently I just disrespected my mans, bro. You're just one of the people that I instantly think of when it comes to directors. Pause when it comes to that sentence I just said. You're going to see in a second. Because Deanna and Tony Storm had matching tattoos. Now, the reason I said pause is, and I disrespected my mans, I accidentally put Scorsese. But obviously, I meant Tarantino must have directed this segment.
Take a look at your ankle, because I'm sure as hell it looks a lot like mine.
Deanna Praza, oh, interesting development there.
You might have everybody here fooled, Tony.
Yo. I don't want to sit there and try to pay attention anytime a segment like that happens. But I was like, oh, maybe that, not ooh. But I just thought of that right now that, hey, what if I had a segment with, oh, Tarantino must have directed the scene. I don't want to sit there and try to, anything I watch, look for, like, no, dude. The only case that I can make is maybe Valhalla on Raw. My bad, I just hit the mic. And we get Jeff Hardy versus Swerve Strickland. Now, I'll be honest. We're going to talk about it in a second. But there's a moment we had a twist of fate on the stairs. So, maybe a few minutes before this happened, they had a moment where, I think it's right before they went to their break in the match. Jeff Hardy puts the stairs, moves it to the side, and then dives to Swerve Strickland. But later on in the match, Swerve Strickland gets hit by the twist of fate on the stairs. They're in a ring. Was this in a ring? I think this was in a ring. But we get an attempted Swanton bomb. House call. Close to call. And then later on in the match, we get Swerve Stomp. And we get the pinfall. But there's some good moments in there. I just said a few of them. But we had a couple botches in there. I'm gonna be honest. I just talked about the little dive. And I don't know. Now, granted, there was another match. Oh, here it goes. There was another match that had a couple botches. But Swerve Strickland, obviously, he just got that pin. We get Thunder Rosa versus Red Velvet. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen anything Thunder Rosa. They're hyping her up. She was in the little 8-woman tag match. Okay, let me see her in the singles match. Red Velvet, like, she seems interesting, decent in the ring. I haven't really seen anything that wasn't really too bad. But the beginning of the match reminded me that in that Swerve match had some botches. Because I was going to write it down, but I forgot. And I was going to write it down. And I was like, maybe I don't want to. What was that? My, computer screen decided to, increase the, size. But at first I was like, okay, yeah, this had a couple. I was like, nah, unless it just is a crazy, absurd amount or a crazy botch, let me not even worry about it. But then it was looking kind of slow at the beginning of that next match, and then I was like, ooh, was that a botch right there? That didn't look too good. And then they had some decent moments here and there. And then there's some a couple more botches in there. Excuse me, a couple more botches in there. But it reminded me that the last match had some botches. Swerve, you would have got the pass. you would have got the pass. I probably wouldn't even have remembered that there were some botches, but hey, Thunder Rosa and Red Velvet, they sold you heavy.
The drop toe hold sends Velvet down, but Velvet, muscle up, Thunder Rosa over the top. Thunder Rosa. Chopping that one staggered Velvet there. And now Thunder Rosa.
But we get a pinfall win by Thunder Rosa. Speaking of another botch, we basically get Thunder Rosa being like, "Where's my title?" Tony Storm, and then she's like, and so as she's saying like Julia Hart, like maybe a second before the camera cuts away from her, and then you like barely hear her say Julia Hart. It's like, bro, y'all didn't give her no chance to say the name, dude. But we get Mogul Embassy versus the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. AO's Trios Championship match. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn retain with a pinfall win. Then we get Copeland versus Suzuki. I said only less than 10 minutes? Because at the time when it's like, next on Dynamite, bro, it was 9:52. So they still haven't even made their entrance. So it's less than 10 minutes with the entrances. But, you know, they was beating the hell out of each other. That's personally not really my cup of tea. I heard people making a big deal of it. Now, if we get matches like these, I'm not going to be like, I hate this. It's just not really what I'm crazy about. It's like, oh, that's a good moment, but it's like, I don't want to have this be my whole entire match. We get a spear. Doesn't get the pinfall. But you know what does? The kill switch. And the Copeland wins. He even tries to shake his hand. He's like, nah, I'm good. He just walks out of that bit. And then he's like, I would have been disappointed if you shook my hand. Rampage. We open up with Jon Moxley versus Lee Moriarty. Why is that name so difficult for me to say? Moriarty. I don't know. That name is just so difficult for me to say. I don't know why. Moriarty. I'm not even gonna attempt, bro. What I just said was yuck. But Jon Moxley obviously won. Like, and then he had another pass out win. Not surprisingly, but thankfully, we didn't get hit with any sus comments that we did in the last one, bro. Then we get Takeshita versus Christopher Daniels. Soon as they pulled up, it sounded like fake boos and fake cheers. At first, I just put fake boos because Takeshita walked up, and it obviously sounded fake. And then Christopher Daniels goes out, and it's just like obviously fake cheers. And then, okay, maybe it wasn't, because usually I have headphones on, but this one I didn't have my headphones on. But I made sure to pay attention when Christopher Daniels came out. You can see the cheers, and you can look at everyone in the audience, and everyone's just kind of like, they did not pay attention for the majority of the show. And then we get a fatal 4-way for international title versus Orange Cassidy. Better than expected. And the crowd got into it. Has some decent spots. Commander ends up winning that. Because I'm be honest. I think I was eating during... Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I started eating during the Takeshita match. So that's when I went downstairs. I skipped Ruby Soho and Anna Jay. Oh, okay. So, like I said, in the Takeshita and Christopher Daniels match, it's obviously fake boos and cheers. You can see no one's caring, and then they're trying to put sounds in there, but you see everyone just like this. But we get Ruby Soho versus Anna Jay. Zarah and Harley get ejected. This is the first time in this Rampage that I've seen a genuine reaction.
Harley Cameron and Zarah have been ejected from ringside.
This is the first time the crowd was like, yeah. And this is our second to last match. Anna Jay wins by tap out. And I don't know if Ruby Soho had an energy. If she had an injured. What? I don't know if Ruby Soho had an injury that I don't know about. But that was the quickest tap out I ever seen. She said, I think it was a sleeper hold. She said,
Wow, with a blockbuster maneuver. There we go. The Queenslayer locked in.
She didn't even let you get the chance to really lock it in for show. That's like in a movie where someone's like, you know what, bring it on, buddy, bring it on. And then a person goes up to like raise their fist and they're like, okay, I'm sorry. Now granted, she didn't do all of that, but like, she didn't even let you get the chance to really lock in that submission. If it was a sleeper hold, I don't remember, but I think it was a sleeper hold. But like I said, the Fatal 4-Way. During the Takeshita match, I went down started eating, and so I was just like, let me just have it on to eat. I'm probably not gonna think much of it, and it was actually better than I expected. It had some entertaining spots, and the crowd got into it. See, I wonder how what I even would think if the crowd never got into it. The crowd is really an important aspect of it. Now, we're going to be speaking about crowds in a minute when we talk about later in this show when it comes to SmackDown. I don't know any commentators' names besides obviously people that I know, like previously coming into this. So obviously I know Booker T, I know JBL, I know Michael Cole, I know Corey Graves, and I know Taz. I know nobody else in any wrestling promotion show. I know none of the commentators. I don't know their names. Now, if someone said, hey, is this a commentator? I might be like, I know that name. That person is on AEW, blah, blah, blah. But if you're like, hey, gun to your head, say their name. Yeah, I might not live. So, one of them just got fired. So, Michael Cole pulled up. I mean, it is the SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. He made sure to say one time only. He said, I'm not letting you get the chance to bring me back into the mix. Opening match, we get Carlito versus Santos Escobar. It's I won't really say I like Carlito. It's familiar. And I like Santos for what he maybe could be. But I'm so sick of seeing this LWO and Santos thing it's like this on SmackDown and Alpha Academy and Ivar and Valhalla on Raw. I'm so sick of seeing these. Like, you can take those off the card, please, bro. I need people in good feuds. Now, maybe you can make a case for the Ivar and Alpha Academy thing. I guess fans are into Alpha Academy. I'm personally not. And I'm not really into... Well, pause. I'm not really an Ivar fan, but, like, I like the concept. Vikings, Last Kingdom, reactions on the channel. And also, if you've missed... If you're like, hey, I wanted you to continue the Last Kingdom. Well, the views wasn't, the views weren't crazy. But, whenever I'm not watching any wrestling show, I just started picking up the episodes. So I might do a review at the end, and then I might just react to the movie that came out. I should have did that instead and from the first place. But I wanted y'all to get the whole story, but we never got that. But I'm sick of seeing these two little interactions, because it's just like, this person got the win. Now we need someone else from the crew to fight. And oh, now we need the whole team to fight each other. Or this person did a roll up, so now we need to do a tag match. And then, oh, this person got disqualified, so now we need to do no disqualification. Like, it's the same thing. Now, hopefully all of these could change now that we had the Royal Rumble. It seems every time I'm watching WWE, it's just like we're waiting just to get through the Royal Rumble. But Elektra Lopez attacks Zelina Vega ringside, causing Carlito to be distracted for a roll-up pin win. Literally just talked about roll-ups. Then we get the Kabuki Warriors versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Now, you see the order rate that I got Rampage, then SmackDown. Now, thankfully, I don't know when, but USA Network is locked in with SmackDown. So when that happens, I can watch Raw live. Not Raw. I can watch SmackDown live. Hopefully I'm able to watch Raw live with the whole Netflix deal. I guess I'll talk about that in between. So let me go ahead and make a note of that. Man. But forgets anyway. But I'm not able to watch it live unless I like go to an actual TV that's not in my room. I'd have to actually sit there for the whole 2 hours and not get any work done while also watching. The reason I say that is because soon as I open Twitter, and new tag team champions, so already women's tag team champions, I already knew that Katana Chance's Kane and Kaden Carter were winning that match. And kind of when that happened, I'm just like, yeah, that was the final thing to me. Like, yeah, Bayley's winning. And then this was like the thing to me, be like, maybe she challenges Io Sky. And then I think there's something that solidified it in a later note. We get Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Final Testament. I put JK, I guess. They was like, nah, we not pulling up. Well, they did pull up, and then they did fight, but it wasn't an official match. We get Austin Theory versus Carmelo Hayes. They had to run it back from the little mishap the other day, or the other night, I guess. And I ain't talking about LA. I will be in a second. But we get the roll-up win by Austin Theory. Hayes gets jumped. I was talking about crowd reaction. Trick Williams pulls up. Crowd chants. Because that was one thing I was like, damn. Well, I'm still nervous about, like, if someone tries to attempt the Booker T ad-libs. Like, imagine Michael Cole doing, what? Like, I'm not even going to attempt, like, Michael Cole's voice doing that. Like, imagine Michael Cole doing that. I like it. I'm not going to like it. So we're just going to have to deal with just the crowd. But I was like, okay, how many people are going to be watching NXT to know to... Granted, maybe you might have little pockets, and then they just get everyone after so many people be like, oh, they're chanting, whoop that trick. But it seemed off rip. They was already getting with the chants.
By Waller and Theory. Wait a minute. Is here on SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes' buddy, Trick Williams.
but they only had the music for a couple seconds, so we didn't really, obviously he throwing hands. So he fights them off, and LWWE for cutting the audio, like you can hear that the audio is not fully there. They cutting to the commentators, and you can hear vaguely in the background of them, whoop that trick, bro.
Well, interesting conversation between the Trick Mello gang, but nonetheless, Trick Williams has a very busy couple of weeks coming up, Corey.
I'm trying to hear that in front of more than 100 or 200 people, or how many people are there when it comes to NXT. Oh, well, actually, you'll see it at this pay-per-view and blah, blah, blah. Dude, I'm talking about like a SmackDown or Raw, dude. I mean, it would have been nice to hear at the Royal Rumble. I knew you weren't going to win that bit, but I wanted to see you pull up. Then we get LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa. AJ Styles interferes and attacks LA Knight. Bruh, I put Solo that one nigga. Solo is that one nigga that just ruins everything. AJ Styles is about to tag LA Knight with a chair. Jimmy, he kind of like, was like, hey man, you go handle business. And so AJ Styles, he looked like he about to do it. He about to do their dirty work. And then this nigga, Solo Sikoa, comes out of nowhere.
Go ahead, dog. Take care of me. Hey! Take care of me. Or I'm going to take care of you. Hit him. Now. Hit him. Oh!
Basically disrespected him. Now me, I can't take that level of disrespect. So even if I might get him afterwards, but hey, now I gotta throw hands with you, cause you over here disrespecting me. But then Randy pulls up, and then he dispatches Solo and Jimmy, and then LA Knight, right before it goes off air, attacks AJ Styles. Or was it Randy? I don't remember. But it was this moment that made me change my predictions. Now, like I said, my predictions was 80% Roman, 20% Randy. And that was only because, oh, hey, we can also, and the only reason that I was even questioning this was because of The Rock. Now, we could do, if Cody really needs to win the championship, it can also be poetic with Randy Orton. So that was the only reason he had that 20%. But this was the moment that made me think, yeah, it's Randy's winning 100%. Roman's winning 100%. Because they kept making Randy look too strong. Randy laid out your champion at the end of like 2 SmackDowns ago. Speaking of the Royal Rumble. Oh, I'm not going to forget this time. Hold up. I am not going to forget. So, obviously I'm late as hell. I was going to talk about it. I had it at the... Actually, did I put it at the top of this one? Yeah, I put it at the top of this one because I was going to talk about it and I forgot. I basically screenshotted it when it happened. It was the same day that I did my last episode of this. But, excuse me. We got Raw coming to Netflix. I want to know how this is going to happen. Now, apparently Netflix streamed other things in the past. Never heard about it. But you need to do a lot of things before then. Because this is not USA Network like where, streaming service crash. I can just go to my TV. Well, let's say you have a TV and you have it on their either app or streaming service or the TV everywhere, whatever that's called. Let's say online it stops working, you can go to your TV. Or hey, your cable's messing up, you can go to, well, usually they're tied. If your cable's working, there's a good chance your internet's not working. But usually if your internet's not working, you usually still have cable. But let's just say either or. But if we're on Netflix, let's say there's just a Netflix all across the board has just stopped working. No one's seeing anything on Raw. The only thing that they could do is, hey, this is what you missed on Raw, and post it on YouTube. And you know damn well they're gonna spam ads. Oh, we missed out on advertisers. Yeah, we gonna make that money somehow nonetheless. Hold 36 ads on a 5-minute video. Hey, you want them all in one go? You want them all in the middle? You want to spread them out evenly? Oh, a lot at the beginning, none at the end. What you want to do? You getting 36 ads on a 5-minute video, man. But so that's one thing I'm a little hesitant about. Now, I like for it to be on Netflix because it could be, but if we're doing it live, I need to have some sort of backup. And then also you bring all that stuff from Peacock to Netflix, that's another W. And they said like 10-year. Hey man. And I think it's like after 5 years they'll try to renegotiate. So we're getting it for at least 5 years. So that's a W.A. And by the time everything happens, like I'll be straight by then, so I don't gotta worry about like, oh hey, I gotta get this other streaming service. Like I wouldn't even have Peacock if it wasn't for them giving me that Black Friday deal. Thank you CM Punk for returning at Survivor Series and at the Royal Rumble. I don't know how much their normal prices is, but that would have been tough. And also, we kind of really just talked about Fox on SmackDown on USA Network. As long as no more Fox, we good, man. As long as it's somewhere where I'm able to see it on a computer, we are straight. And then I also need to be able to have some sort of backup. If I'm watching it down, well, I can watch it on my phone. But let's say my phone's about to die. The battery is dumb as hell. Like, this been charging the whole time I've been streaming. It's only 83%. I've been streaming for 90 minutes. On to the Royal Rumble. Now, I did a whole reaction. So this is how I'm basically gonna have it. So when I do reactions on like shows and movies on Patreon, I kind of like have the first like 90 seconds and the last 90 seconds. And then let's say I take a bathroom break. Those moments I'll have the actual like you seeing what I'm seeing as well as seeing me. And then I'll blur it and then turn the volume down. This I'll probably do it like certain moments you can see what's happening, but it's gonna be basically highlights on YouTube. And then when it's on Rumble, it's gonna be a little bit of audio and you get to see some of the bigger moments. We're gonna have to figure it out. Also, I did it a different way. I'm gonna talk about it when I record the intro for that video. So we start with the Women's Royal Rumble match. Honestly, like the champions kind of carried the end of the Men's Royal Rumble, but everything else, low key, the Women's Royal Rumble is like better in every other aspect. And also, you're gonna see, I said it towards the end of my reaction, but call me mellow because I don't miss. Not only did I get all my predictions right, as well as my final four predictions, there's times when I'm like, okay, this person's going to come out. Now this person's going to come out. I did that between like 5 to 15 times where I got an entrant right. Before the Royal Rumble even started, I knew CM Punk was either going to be at the beginning or 27. You can't have them. You can have him be at 30. So I knew he was going to be. After we got past 15, I knew he was 27. That's the lucky number. You want us to think he's going to be the one that win from. Nah, you're not winning. But I like CM Punk. You're not winning. But we're going to get to that in a second. Naomi returns at number 2. Now, that's another one of my predictions. I said either Naomi or Sasha Banks. Now, obviously, that's not really the biggest prediction. But, you know, everyone went crazy. You know, she getting emotional. And I think I said in my reaction, I was like, it's a good thing Natalya was in that ring. Apparently, Natalya's a heel. I don't know. I heard that she's a heel right now. Couldn't tell you. But someone who's been there to give her respect. Like, if you're in a ring with someone like Nia Jax, unless she's about to troll you instantly afterwards, whether in the character or not, you're not getting that. Like, you needed someone like Natalya to let you have that moment. And like, she shook your hand. Like, you needed someone like her. So we get Asuka coming through, and then we got Kairi Sane. Also, let me give in a second. I'm gonna give all my little. I'm gonna give all the entrants. But I put, if Damage Controls turns on Bayley, she's not my pick. So if they have their little breakup here, she would no longer be my pick. Now let's go through the entrants. Also, actually, no, matter of fact, we get TNA's Women's Champion. Now this got me a little disappointed for Sami Zayn for number 30. Because I was like, it got me thinking, what if? And I'm not talking about Marvel. Number 1, Natalya. Number 2, Naomi. Number 3, Bayley. I knew Bayley was at least within the first 5. Number 4, we get Candice. We get Candice LeRae. Number 5, we get Jordan Grace. Number 6, we get Indy Hartwell. Number 7, we get Asuka. Number 8, we get Ivy Nile. Number 9, we get Katana Chance. 10, we get Bianca. 11, we get Kairi Sane. 12, we get Tegan Nox. And I think I was writing I had to be writing a note right around here. So I think right around this time, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae got eliminated. And the reason I put LOL next to it is because if y'all seen in the last episode, I was just talking about how on Raw, even in the clip that they wanted to have where they got the most like crowd reaction, they were not rocking with anything you did in that ring. So, hey, you went in there and you was the first eliminated and your partner. Imagine you, a tag team. Y'all are the first 2 eliminated from the Royal Rumble match. Hey, walk a Shane back. Get your ass in the back, bro. Get your ass in the back. So I think right around that time, I was writing that note. And then that's when at number 3 we get Kaden Carter. As well as I'm like, oh, maybe. I was saying something about the reaction between Kaden Carter and Katana Chance and Naomi. Maybe feud, rivalry, or some sort of team up. So then I just knew, I was like, hold on, am I tripping, or did that say 17 and I wrote this is number 16? So it wasn't until 19 where I'm like, let me actually look at the number, and I realized I was missing someone and I had to look it up afterwards. But 13, Kaden Carter. 14, Chelsea Green. 15, Piper Niven. 16, Sia Lee. 16, Zelina. 17, Zelina. 18, Maxine Dupree. 19, Nia Jax. What? Hold on. Okay, 19, Nia Jax. 20, Shotzi. Okay, so yeah, 19. So it wasn't until I was like, let me see if Shotzi's number 19. I was like, oh, okay, she's number 20. Let me figure out afterwards. 21, we get Becky. 22, we get Alba Fire. 23, we get Shayna Baszler. 24, we get Valhalla, as well as R-Truth. He pulls up in a Royal Rumble match. In a women's Royal Rumble match. And he's walking past Valhalla like, what's going on? And then he goes in the ring. Nia Jax is just standing there. He's like, whoa, hold on, time out. Where the guys at? That has to be memed. That has to be memed. I don't know what you're going to put as the caption, but you could do that in so many different ways. That has to be memed. And then Nia Jax eliminates him. And then Adam Pearce comes out there like, oh, you idiot. 25, we get Michin. 26, we get Zoe Stark. 27, we get Roxanne Perez. And a little whoopsie there. Because they did a little pre-show. And you can see that they're like testing every single person's. They show like when people are pulling up at like 1 p.m. So I guess people are like trying to show, okay, I'm probably going to walk to the ring. That's how long I'll take. Okay, let's test this person's pyro. Let's test this person's Titantron. Let's test this person's, So you see the lights wrapping around and you see Roxanne Perez. Now, you're not a Raw superstar, so you're kind of like the NXT surprise. Even though you're in last Women's Royal Rumble, you're the surprise. They let us know what time it was when it came to the pre-show. 28, we get Jade Cargill. She pulls up. She going crazy. We're gonna have to see. I'm gonna be honest. Like soon as we was hearing things about you, I was like, let me look up a match. I don't know what match I looked up. It didn't look too good. And this was like one of the first things I'm seeing of it on AEW. It wasn't looking too good. Thankfully I've seen better. Not of you yet. I want to see how you do after your transformation. I want to see if you really hold it down. Let's see if you actually pull up to the main roster. Number 29, we get Tiffany Stratton. And number 30, now Liv Morgan. I'm sorry you had to unfortunately catch a stray. They should have had you return at like number 29. I'm sorry. Number 30, you should have like... Okay, well, I guess... number 30, you should have had someone who's like a heel. You can't have Nia Jax again in number 30. You should have had like... I don't know. Or maybe, no. Number 30, you should have had... you needed Naomi to have her little full stretch. The reason I said you had to catch this straight, I was expecting to hear Let's Light It Up. So I'm like, come on, let me hear it. Now, granted, I'm not one of those dumbasses who think she's about to return full time. I'm just thinking you could pull up. Bro, Michelle McCool pulled up, and she hasn't wrestled in how long? Bro, I started watching wrestling again and then stopped watching it, and then years later started watching again. And throughout that whole time, like maybe a couple months, maybe part-time-ish, there was Michelle McCool. She could come back. So I'm like, okay, AJ Lee, pull up. So you'll see how my reaction is. And also, I like Liv Morgan. I'm not used to everyone's theme, so if I don't know your theme off rip, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I like Naomi. I don't know what her theme sounds like. I didn't know until last night, and I don't even remember now. If I don't like your theme, or something in your theme doesn't strike out to me instantly, I'm not gonna know. Now, obviously, they cut the lights off for Naomi, so I'm like, okay. Chelsea almost did 2 years back to back with instant eliminations. So last year was Rhea Ripley, and then this year was Bianca Belair. Pulls up, grabs her, she's about to throw her out. I'm like, I know damn well, bruh. I'm like, if this is happening, they better cut you the fattest check. It's kind of funny. I was talking about catching strays. As soon as Piper pulled up, Chelsea was about to get eliminated. She picked her up. Hey, this is the moment that got me to give Piper a chance. I really did not care in the slightest, but this is a moment to get her a chance. Like, you know, I don't know what her character is really like per se, but she seems like a sweetheart, and she seems like a, you know, cool person. You can kind of see herself peeking through the character. So Chelsea Green's about to be eliminated. Falls to Piper Niven, and then she kind of like gives a look like she's about to drop her. Like, hey, this might be my turning on you moment. And me, I was actually gonna believe it. So I'm like, oh, maybe they're doing a different character for Chelsea Green. That's why they had Samantha only specifically stop doing the impression for Chelsea Green. I'm like, okay, maybe they're about to change her character or something. I'm like, okay, maybe this is the reason for that. She's like, whoop! And then she's like, yeah, just kidding, and then brings her to the stairs, and then she enters the match. And I believe she had a face-off with Nia Jax. Bars. Let me see. Nia Jax came in at 18. Never mind. I think there was another big body in there. Or maybe she just went in there and caused havoc. She was the prelude to Nia Jax. But speaking of catching strays, like I said, Chelsea Green was catching every single... Why am I talking about a lot of things IRL or here that are like happening IRL? I was catching so many strays today at work, bro. But anyways, and then someone started the day talking about some they had like a little cut or something. It was like he made a joke like, oh, his girlfriend shot him, and like, but she just grazed him or whatever. Anyways, she kept catching strays. Piper Niven accidentally hit her like 2 to 3 times. People will throw Piper Niven into her. I came home from work a whole day later. Let me see now. But almost 20 hours later, people were still talking about her, and she was trending. Let's see if she's still trending. Okay, yeah, she's not trending anymore. I had to stop for a second because World War III was trending. Like, I'd rather Chelsea Green still be trending. If we're talking about strays. Because who gonna be the strays for World War III, bitch? It's tough. Anyways. Yeah, she kept getting squished. I said Truth said equal rights equal fights or equal rights, equal lefts when he entered at number 24. But I already, spoke about that whole situation. And I spoke about the pre-show, Spoil and Roxanne Perez. And I put, I don't miss. See, it's not just the top 4 I think did have Jade Cargill. I really did get my top 4 right when it came to the men's Royal Rumble. But I don't specifically remember about the women's. I think I said, well, technically I wasn't right. I mean, I wasn't wrong. I said Nia Jax. I said Becky Bailey. Oh, nah, because you could kind of... Okay. I think Becky got eliminated a little further. Okay. I think I said Bailey, Becky, Nia, or a returning superstar, and I forgot who the 4th one was. So I was really thinking about Jade Cargill, but then we also had Liv Morgan, so unless you want to put them in the same category. But I didn't miss with the Bailey win. That's number 1. And I didn't miss with the Becky Lynch possible heel turn. They kept putting the camera on her, kind of just like, that's some bullshit. It's some bullshit. She gonna do whatever it take to get her title shot. Also, that Io Sky thing, man. That's another one not missing. Cause you could be like they didn't have the women's champion out there like they did with Roman and Seth Rollins, but they did have him out there for. I mean, yeah, they did have. Okay, I did that wrong. But anyways, so she didn't really point to anyone. Like Cody Rhodes, I mean, it's clear as day. I mean, he didn't even have to point to Roman, but he did it anyway. Bars. But in the other case, Bayley didn't choose. And then also, you can't have Becky say what she say and still not fight Rhea, whether win or lose. So she is going to turn heel eventually. And plus Judgment Day is going to be up out of here soon. They're not making it past 2024. Everyone's cheering for Rhea regardless. Face turns coming soon. We might do a double turn. We might just do a double turn. So, with maybe potentially them going at each other at Elimination Chamber and maybe a rematch at Mania. Who does that leave? Bayley at Mania. Io Sky. We already had the foundation of them breaking up, of Damage Control. Well, I was just speaking about Roman. Now we got the Fatal 4-Way. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. Not a tag match. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Cool. It wasn't the greatest thing ever known to man. I didn't expect it to be in the first place. I expected maybe a couple cool spots here and there. There was a spot where Solo almost destroyed Samantha Irvin. Goes to tackle I believe it was, I don't think it was Orton. I believe it was AJ Styles, but it could have been LA Knight. And they move, and he just goes through the barricade. And if she didn't move in time, that she would have fell on her legs. That probably wouldn't have been the biggest difference. But like, if she was a little closer up, she would have got obliterated. She would have took an accidental bump. But we get the same Solo spot. Like, just stand ringside, bro. Stand ringside. Stand ringside in ring gear. I don't know why. Like, you have him in the hoodie. Like, we don't know who this is. Boom, boom. Bet you don't know who this is. Like, dude, it looked like Goddamn, it looked like someone's pulling footage from different matches that's already happened. And AJ Styles, he sold the match. Not sold like, yeah, he stole the show. I mean, he sold himself. He has a chair, and it's taken 20 years for him to get in the ring. And I believe there's something else he did in the ring that allowed people to be able to recuperate. And then he's the one who got pinned. I'm gonna have to, you'll have to. I talk about it in the reaction, but I don't remember vividly. I just remember him taking too long to get in the ring when he got the steel chair. Then we get Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul. But knew he had to win due to Bull. Obviously Roman Reigns returned in another match, by the way. But I knew he had to win due to some BS. This is the first time ever ref has 20/20 vision. That's what they said at commentary. Like, bro, a ref will be like distracted with a minuscule thing for someone to cause a little distraction. But as soon as it needed Kevin Owens to win, brass knuckles. But yeah, so Logan Paul is the new champion. Like I said, this one's kind of on hold. If you want to say this is an L, go ahead and call this an L. If he makes it past WrestleMania, then it's a true L. And that's what I said. If he retains, he's not retaining past WrestleMania. I knew they were gonna at least let him get one defense. Not I knew, but I'd assumed they're gonna let him get at least one defense. Then we get the men's Royal Rumble match. So I put Ziggler ? Because hey, y'all know that's my guy. He's in my top 5, man. And the reason I was they had the TNA's women's champion. And if y'all don't know, he just debuted in TNA. So I'm like, maybe they have him return as, Nick Nemeth. You don't hear, I'm here to show the world. Like, you hear, I don't know what his theme is, but you hear his TNA theme. You see Nick Nemeth. Those who know. Those who don't, is that Dolph Ziggler? The commentators will say to the people watching home, he's in TNA now. He's going by Nick Nemeth. Because obviously you can't debut, then go back to WWE for a one-time deal in the Royal Rumble as Dolph Ziggler after you already, rebranded to your government name. So, okay, for sure. So, number 1, we get Jey Uso. Number 2, we get Jimmy Uso. Number 3, we get Grayson Waller. Number 4, we get a returning Andrade. Now listen, I know nothing about him. When I started to watch AEW, I think he had his last match, or he just had his last match and they showed it on a recap. I don't recall. When I started watching, I didn't do any of this, so I have no notes of it, so there wouldn't be any muscle memory of, I remember watching a match and writing some notes about it. I do remember Miro having a little thing where, I don't want you managing this guy, and yeah, that's all I remember. And I was not, maybe I was watching around the time, excuse me, but I've seen very little to none of NXT before coming back to WWE. Number 5, we get Carmelo Hayes. Number 6, we get Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 7, we get Santos Escobar. And man's tried to team up with Andrade, and I don't know if Andrade was gonna let it slide, but I feel like he could have finessed the situation, but he wanted to bro, you can't recruit him just yet. You gotta be boys, oh, hey, let's be cool. Even if you gotta hold the L for this Royal Rumble, recruit him afterwards, bro. Speaking of recruiting, number 8 we get Karrion Kross. Number 9 we get we get Tom and Nick Mysterio. Number 10 we get Carlito. 11 Bobby Lashley. Number 12 Kaiser. Number 13 Austin Theory. Let me see if any of these names I know that I would. Okay, let's see. Number 14 we get Finn Balor. I think I guessed Finn Balor. Number 15 we get Cody Rhodes. Not too sure about that. Number 16 Big Bronson Reed. I for sure didn't guess that. Number 16 we get Kofi Kingston. I did guess that. I did guess Kofi Kingston is next. Number 18. Now Kofi Kingston made sense at like within the story that was going on in the match. Number 18, I said, we need someone to go crazy right now. I was like, maybe Gunther, and I said like 2 other names. Gunther. Here comes Gunther. So, and I'm not even someone who like I'm not really. Hey, Gunther, nah. I've seen one match with him. I mean, besides like the Royal Rumble match, but like I've seen one singles match with him versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship when they had to get the rematch, and then it was like, hey, if I win, you can never challenge for this title as long as I hold it. So it, like I say that to say, like, that wasn't the first person on my mind, and obviously I knew there was no Brock Lesnar because of the whole situation. And yeah, and we already had Bobby Lashley, and I think he was eliminated by this time. Number 19, we get Ivar. Number 20. Oh, I think in number 20 we get Braun Breaker. I think I said Gunther, or maybe like a Braun Breaker, or someone to go crazy. So I think I said those 2 names, and I said or someone to go crazy. Number 21 we get Omos. It's my first time seeing him. Number 22, speaking of Brock Lesnar, we get Pat McAfee. I feel like at this time, Pat McAfee was that was Brock Lesnar's spot, because you had Omos and Braun Breaker facing off, and then we get Pat McAfee. So like, oh, let's do this comedic thing, and it just seemed like a waste of a spot. Hey, 2 big guys, and you get in, and you're like, nah, then you eliminate yourself, but no, you get back in, and then you're like, nah, forget it, I'm eliminating myself, and then that was it. I think the original idea was, hey, 2 big guys facing off, and then I'm not even about to attempt Brock Lesnar's theme, but his theme goes. The next thing you know, he goes crazy, and then he gets him out of there. They said, nah, Braun Breaker, we're going to let you get that Omos elimination. And we're going to figure out how to do other things. Number 23, we get JD McDonough. Number 24, we get R-Truth. So I'm glad we, kept that for his number instead of some, oh, hey, he comes out at 24 in the women's, but doesn't pull up at, oh, okay, bro. That, even if you want to have that be his character, doesn't make sense. Like, he got the number 24. Someone else can't get 24 as well. Number 20. Oh, speaking of someone can't get the same number as well. See, another thing y'all could have done instead of just having these dragging stories over and over again. How many times did we need to say Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cody Rhodes? How many times did we need to say, see, I already said the other ones, bro. Where, hey, I know you want to make it poetic with CM Punk leaving in 2014 and then returning in 2024 to televised event. But let's say Jey Uso, after his World Heavyweight Championship match, and then I think he had a match with Drew McIntyre. We haven't really seen much of him. Jey Uso versus, or even if you had Damage Control come to SmackDown, let's say, nah, he got the He was in the United States Championship. Let's say Jey Uso versus Finn Balor for the 28th spot. Like, you had a couple spots that, hey, if you win this match, you can get that spot in a Royal Rumble. Maybe you did the 27th spot because it was one of the lucky ones, and you did the 30th and the 29th spot because those are a lot. Nah, maybe just 30th. You leave the 29th be like the big return or reveal or surprise or whatever. We could have did things like that instead. I'm only thinking about that right now because that little R-Truth situation I was talking about. Number 25, we get The Miz. 26, we get Damian Priest. I was gonna guess Priest, but then I was like, I don't want to say Priest right now. I'm gonna say this person instead. So, or maybe, yeah. Okay, yeah. I think that's what that was. CM Punk, I guessed for sure. I guessed CM Punk before the match even started. He was either gonna be one of the earlier ones or he was going to be 27. Like, after we got past 15, I knew for sure that he was 27. I was like, yep, this is CM Punk. Let me hear that. Boom. Ricochet, I did not guess in the slightest. I was not even thinking about you. You weren't on my radar. This is my first time seeing you. I've only seen you in a backstage segment, and I've seen you, obviously, like, clips and stuff, like, seeing you live on Raw or SmackDown. What brand are you on? I don't even know what brand you're on. 29, we get Drew McIntyre. That's one I guessed. Sami Zayn, I did not guess. I forgot you existed, bro. I'm going to be honest. I was banking on Ziggler. Not banking on it, but I was hoping on Ziggler. And I was banking on... And then 2% of me was like, MJF. I didn't really believe it, but I'm just like, what if? What if? And really, I was only hoping MJF just so I can get a good reaction. But if I was not reacting to it, I was not. There was 0% chance that I was thinking MJF. I was like, what was that? Maybe 2% that, I can get some views off that. And so, yeah, I forgot about him. Like, if Sami Zayn was like at, well, I can't say if he was at 20, but I forgot about him, and I was hoping on someone big at 30. Pause. Because I remember forgetting to put him on my returns. I remember being like, damn, I recorded my video. But going back in the match after, we just listed the order, the entrance. There's a moment, like I said, it was Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, then Grayson Waller. They start jumping Jey. And so, before, Waller's like, Jay's like, yeet, and then Waller's like, no yeet. And so then after he knocks Jay down, he's like, Jimmy's behind him, and then he turns around, and he's like, no yeet, and he's like, no yeet, acknowledged. Just that little moment was funny, bruh. But speaking of Waller, he was the first one to get eliminated in the Men's Royal Rumble match. I don't even know if anyone even pays attention to the first person eliminated. Like, you always know who the winner is, and then sometimes people talk about the runner up, and then you talk about this person lasted this long. But I don't think anyone really pays attention to the first person eliminated. After Indy Hartwell, I was like, let me make a note of that in the Men's Royal Rumble as well. And then her partner got eliminated, just made it worse. After I just had that clip in that video. R-Truth carried his spots. Man's went in for a tag to Dominic, and then he getting choked out by Gunther, and he goes making hot tag. The crowd goes wild. And yeah, he was carrying, man. And I said I don't miss with my top four. I don't miss with my top four. And then I said, watch Gunther ruin my night. Because Gunther was not someone I had picked. I didn't want him to win. I don't like unified championships. They don't make sense to me. Single titles. If someone's like United States champion and tag championship, that's cool. They could fight you 1 week in a singles match for a championship. Next week, tag match for championship. Non-title match. Non-title tag match. They can do things like that. But let's say you have the Intercontinental Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship. Do I challenge you for both? Is every single competitor always going to challenge you for both? Am I going to always walk out with 2 titles? Do I challenge you for 1 title? It doesn't make sense. So it's like, everyone's kind of like, they're kind of hyping up Gunther being like the guy to go the longest in the first Royal Rumble match. So I'm like, watch he ruin my night, because my prediction said Cody Rhodes. My top 4 was right. I said Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and then I don't remember the fourth. I literally don't remember the fourth one. I have to go back and look at it. But when the match started, I said, Jay or someone who's gonna be dominant, and that turned out to be Gunther. And then I think Jay got eliminated just right before like 5th or 6th. And I said I don't miss with my last 2. That was my last 2. And at the very bottom, you just see in big letters, I don't miss. I knew what time it was. Y'all kept spamming. No one has won back-to-back Royal Rumbles in 26 years. Y'all said it multiple times. Only 3 people have done it. Hulk Hogan, one of the staples of the company. Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest of the companies, and one of Vince McMahon's favorites. We don't want to say that now. The reason I'm thinking about it is there's a video right here. I'm on my YouTube homepage that says, talking about his allegations. I'm missing it right now, dude. It's live. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin, which exploded the WWE to popularity. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to get the reaction up as quick as possible. It's doing something a little weird. Hopefully I can fix that and make it look better. I can't redo it. This is how you know that the reaction is gonna be legitimate. The times when I'm saying this is my prediction is because it looks weird. It looks weird. Now, it looked weird last night. Maybe it was just a one-time thing, because when I use the keyer effect, sometimes it does stupid stuff, so maybe it's that one-time thing. It's going to be it for this one. So like I said, we're going to start next time with AEW Collision and end it with AEW Collision. Okay, so we're getting these down to a decent size. I'm trying to get these between 30 minutes and then 90 minutes max. I don't want these 90 plus minutes or 2 hour long videos like these. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned for the next one, and I'm out. Peace.